Let's bring in John Smoltz. John, do you like Fletch?
What's that?
Do you watch the movie Fletch? With?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that was
Look,
it. That's the only reason why we wanted to have you on.
I mean, if Dumb and Dumber is your favorite movie, which it is, Fletch is going to fall in that category too.
Give me your favorite comedy, John.
Oh, it's Dumb and Dumber.
I watched that again. You can. It doesn't matter where it is in the movie. You can watch it, and it's great. It's like Step Brothers. You can just you just watch it, and you continue to watch it.
That's exactly right, and it never gets old. But you can't. Once you have a movie like that, you can't do a
sequel.
Two.
Yeah,
no.
I know, and we do it. We did it to Caddyshack, and we do it to a few of these, and you just can't do that.
Nope.
Have you been in a movie?
Yeah, I was. 7 hours, had my own trailer. The movie The Change Up, and then I went to the actual theater to watch it, only to find out I didn't make it. I delivered my line flawlessly. I looked at it over and over. I cross-checked it. Analytically, it was driven perfectly. It just didn't make the final cut.
They didn't tell you before you got to the movie theater?
No.
Oh, boy.
No.
That's tough.
But I went to a late movie, so there wasn't many people there.
Who was in The Change Up with you?
Ryan Reynolds, Olivia Wilde.
Oh, my gosh.
I was supposed to be, I was the Atlanta Braves pitching coach. They were filming the scene there where they're at the stadium watching the game. And like I said, I mean, I think it's a record that I only had to do the line a couple times. I did it so well. But obviously not well enough. Didn't make the cut.
Who was better looking, Ryan Reynolds or Olivia Wilde?
Both fine-looking human beings.
Oh, okay. I see. Was Bull Durham realistic?
There were parts, but no, it's not realistic. But there was, you take look, I'm one of these guys. I cannot watch a sports movie unless it's like a slapstick comedy. But anybody that tries to do a sports movie and bypasses the most obvious stuff that I guess 80% of the people won't pick up, I'm sitting there picking it apart. It's a bad habit. But unless it's like a goof, like Slapshot or something, it's hard for me to watch a sports movie.
All right, give me what bothered you the most about Bull Durham.
Oh, I don't know if anything bothered because that was more of a spoof. But I think the thing that I don't know, maybe the portrayed life of a baseball player that might fall in that category is less than 5%.
You didn't have a Susan Sarandon waiting for you in the minor leagues?
No. But I did have moments where I could have hit the bull. My first pitch in pro ball hit the guy. It was going to hit the guy, and he got out of the way, and it hit the bat. And
behind him.
Oh, there's my first strike. This is all downhill from here.
So you threw behind him accidentally, and it hit the bat on his shoulder.
Yeah, actually, I was so nervous. It was an instructional league, and I was nervous, and right out of high school, and he steps up there, and I'm like, all right, no big deal, and I throw it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and he ducked, and it hit the bat, and I went, all right, strike one, here we go.
Walk me through. When did you learn beanball etiquette?
When?
Yeah.
It's interesting how. We've talked about how much the game has changed. You could do 40 shows on it, but that you were told by veteran players, or at least like I was told things that had nothing to do with the game, how to take care of the clubhouse guys, what to do here. You were told things to kind of respect the way players had kind of, I don't know, paved the way or whatever. And then you would have some veteran guys on your team that, especially a veteran pitcher, if you had any questions, well, this is how you do this or this is how you do that. And, the number one thing for me has always been never near a guy's shoulder or heads. Ever. I mean, that's just like, that would be the number one thing you don't do. And the other thing, remember being told if the manager tells you to do something, you better know how to do it, and you better get it right the first time. And never really had any issues with that or misgivings of like confusion, because it can despite what the obvious of what it can do to a person, it can mess up your team and your team chemistry if things are handled improperly.
But do you think the Giants handled it improperly with the Strickland, the reaction from Buster Posey, the fact that he did this holding a grudge from 2014?
Again, that's the thing that's amazing to me. When you sit back, everybody can look at things a different way, and everyone can see it a different way, right? And internally, things are discussed. It's never going to come out. No one's ever going to say, "Hey, this is what happened here." And I think, look, the first thing I'm going to say, whether you agree with it or not, he hit him in the right spot, right? I mean, we've had uglier situations that nobody talks about. We've had guys get thrown behind their head that I lose my mind on. That never gets any bigger publicity because the batter decided not to charge the mound. But the Machado situation, that whole thing played out. That's where you get to the point where it never ends, or it doesn't seem like there's an ending point. I've always struggled with you're better off to strike first. Because then what? I mean, to me, the game has gone off the rails in a lot of different ways. And one of the ways it's gone off the rails is guys are ill-prepared to do, whether you like it or not, pitch inside or take care of business, whatever that means or translated. That's where it gets a little bit fuzzy for me. When you throw a ball up near a guy's head, I'm sorry, it better have slipped. And you know the difference between when a pitch slipping a curveball versus, trying to hurt somebody or at least not know how to do it correctly.
But do you respect Harper for charging the mound? Was that the right thing to do?
It's funny because, but here's the thing about the game. The recourses of the American League versus the National League, meaning the American League guys never bat, right? Mm-hmm. You see it happen a lot more in the American League. Pitchers who have to stand on the mound and stand in the plate are going to feel differently about a scenario unless you're a reliever and you don't get to hit a lot. But, I mean, the fact that he decided in that moment to do it, well, that's like people acting as if they never got mad at somebody cutting them off on the highway, and they've always been patient and thinking that it happens, and that's the thing. The emotion happens.
But are you more apt to throw at Harper now?
No. See, where I think it gets crazy is when you start deciding, I need to get one up on your team. You hit two of my guys, we need to hit three, or you hit one, we're going to pick out two. That's where the game loses its, what do you want to call it, coloring outside the lines or not. That's up to somebody else's own interpretation. I really believe that most managers always have a good heartbeat of what's going on, and players make bad decisions based on emotion, and they think they're doing something on the benefit of their team, and in reality, they're only putting other people in harm's way. That's where you get into your first question, what's the right way and the wrong way. This thing's over. I mean,
You sure?
Harper ended it. Oh, yeah. I mean, I would think that would be something where, that's a long time, 2 years, I get it. And everyone's going to try to focus on that. And I think the biggest thing is, whether you're trying to bury a ball in or if it smells and looks like he exacted his revenge, then both sides, I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or different, but I think it's over. I don't think that's going to be – I think there'll be a lot of respect on both parties, and Strickland's going to try to get him out the rest of his career, and Harper's going to try to hit 4 more home runs.
He's John Smoltz, Major League Baseball Network analyst. You can watch John on MLB Tonight. Airs live 7 days a week. MLB Network features Yankees Blue Jays tomorrow at 7 Eastern. All right, run me.
Hey, I had something for you, by the way, and it just wasn't in the cards. I saw you. It seems like 2 months ago at the Emmys.
Yeah.
And my passion bucket, that was going to be part of the speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was going to be. I know you were going to tear up. I saw you in the road. I didn't get a chance to come over and see you.
Yeah.
But I had it. I unfortunately never got to the stage to be able to do that for you.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Do you remember somebody that you went after? Did you ever hold a grudge and hit somebody?
No. I never hit somebody because they couldn't get him out. If that was the case, Tony Gwynn would have been hit a lot. I did have a couple points where I was told to brush a guy back.
Did you ever hit somebody on purpose?
Yes.
Who'd you hit?
Well, let me retract that. I wanted to throw the ball inside. Unfortunately, Cangelosi stood 2 inches. It was unfair. It wasn't going after him. It wasn't any reflection around him. I didn't even pick up my head after the grand slam. This was when Ryan Thompson hit the grand slam off of me. And
Cangelosi was next?
He was next, and as the story goes, unfortunately, I'm not seeing real well right now. I'm not happy. And I said, you know what? I'm throwing the next pitch inside. And I did. And if you look at it, he was 2 inches from the plate. It hit him. He charged the mound. So after the brawl, Bobby Bonilla had the greatest line ever because Ryan Klesko was playing right field, and he made 3 errors on 2 plays, which got to the bases loaded, which got to the 0-2 slider that I hung. Ryan Thompson hit a home run and took forever to get around the bases. Bobby Bonilla said, you should hit Klesko. He's the guy that got you in this game. and I did think that was pretty funny, but I got an 8-game suspension, and the largest given out at any point in baseball, and it was a rash of, that was probably the 7th. There was a rash of brawls that were happening, and the NL president said that's enough, and I got an 8-game suspension.
But
I hit the fewest guys, I think, in the history of the game with the amount of innings that I pitched. It's got to be less than 17 or 16 or something in that category. So
Paulie,
I didn't
check on that. Check on that with StatSync that Smoltz thinks he hit fewer batters per innings than anybody in the history of the game. Maddox didn't hit anybody, right?
What's that?
Maddox didn't hit anybody.
He would hit guys with a 2-seamer that just
ran
in.
Yeah, Paulie.
I have John at 57 hit by pitch in 21 seasons.
Yeah, so there you go.
And we're checking the ratio.
John, you said 17.
No. I'm saying that I hit, when you think about the amount of innings to the guys that I hit.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's 1 every 6, 1 every. Whatever the ratio comes to.
How many Hall of Famers did you hit?
I don't know, but I do have this. In 90, 91, and 92, John led the majors in wild pitches.
That's correct. That's the Bull Durham. I have a record in the All-Star game in Baltimore. I have 3 wild pitches in 1 inning.
Don't you love it when you come on? We never celebrate your career. It's always, hey.
I know, and I thought you were going to talk about since I turned 50, I'm trying for the senior qualifier coming up in a week, but I knew this would, that's later. We'll talk about that when I make it.
How about, you qualify, and then we'll talk about it, John. All right? Good God, you poor thing. You've had nothing go right in your life, man. I hope something happens good to you, all right? Man. Drama. You can see John on MLB Tonight displaying this type of sense of humor 7 days a week. Plus Yankees Blue Jays tomorrow at 7 Eastern on MLB Network. John, it's great to talk to you again.
All right, Dan. Good to talk to you.
All right. He just turned 50 on May 15th. John Smoltz.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.